Hello and welcome back to another episode of Magtainment. Today we're going to be baking a cake for my 4-year-old daughter. We have the supplies here. We've got cake pans, we've got funfetti, we even have some lights. This is not going to be one of those fancy bake chefs. This is the first time I've ever done a multi-tiered cake, but we're going to give it our best shot. Hopefully it'll turn out great. These are the cake pans, and that's my little levelers, as well as the straws to hold up the cake levels. To keep the cake from sticking to the pan, I went ahead and just added a little bit of parchment paper at the bottom. As you can see, I'm cutting it out to fit the pan. Once I added that to the pan, I used cooking spray to just do the edges, and at the end it was great. It pulled out just fine. I didn't have to worry about it. Here we are, we're mixing the eggs, the oil, water, batter to get everything ready to go. I've picked out several different food colorings. That way she can have a rainbow cake. Rainbow cake was one of her requests for her party. So enjoy and watch us bake it. I then added different amounts of food coloring into the mixed batter to get the different colors in the layers. And initially when I started out, I wasn't sure how much batter I needed. That's why you see 4 bowls of batter. Once I put it in the cake pan, I realized I needed to combine those and do half in each pan instead of a quarter, because it barely fit the bottom of my pans. Once I had everything baked and ready to go, you can see here these are the finished layers of the cake with the different colors. I have not cut off the tops yet. You want to make sure that once it's done baking, in order to keep it level, you trim off the tops. As you can see, it's rounded up on the top and it won't create a stable base for you to build the other layers. Here you can see I've cut off the tops and I've started to ice and stack some of the layers. I was running out of room for cooling racks to place these, so as they finished and cooled, I stacked them up. There you can see the tops. We've got plenty of snacking cake left over as we continue to bake and work on decorating. Wrapped up the cakes in saran wrap to keep them dry, as this was around 1 o'clock in the morning when I finished baking. So I put them in the refrigerator so they could chill and be ready for the icing. Once they were done, you can see I've layered the cakes. I put some icing in between to make sure they stick together. I then stuck the straws through the cake to help support the upper layers. And as you can see now, I'm cutting the straws to match the middle layer, and I'm going to push those through and set the other top piece on top. If you don't have any support structure for the cake layers, they'll start to flatten and squish, and you could break your cake and the whole thing could topple over. Cakes stacked, we start the icing process. I had blue, purple, and again, she wanted a rainbow cake, and the theme here was Vampirina, thus the purple and blue, as well as the purple and blue funfetti. I am not a fan of traditional fondant. I don't think it tastes very good, but it does hold up a little better than this one. But this is a marshmallow fondant. It's powdered sugar, marshmallows, and a little bit of water, and then I add peppermint to give it a flavor rather than just marshmallow. So it's kind of like a peppermint marshmallow. I use it to form the letters. I made little colored balls to kind of go on top. Here I'm starting to do her name, and just like dyeing the cake batter here, you can dye the marshmallow fondant. Here you can see I made a little P, spelled out her name. Now I'm working on adding lights to the cake. You can cut into the cake in order to run the lines through, but I wasn't going that fancy. Again, this is the first time I've made something, so... Plus, I didn't want to potentially cut up the cake and have the whole thing fall apart. So I'm using some of the marshmallow fondant to attach the unicorns on the outside and just have the wire run along with the cardboard. All right, keeping all the non-edible parts with non-edible parts. Kind of candle holders or light holders, so we could light up the cake, but you couldn't particularly see the lights. And so I just kind of wrapped a little bit of the marshmallow fondant around the light and stuck them on there. And once it lit up, it kind of lit up the cake like a church. Now here's the cake with the lights on, the little unicorn lights, and the little lights in my little candle holders. So here's the finished cake. You can see all the lights that are on there. It ended up working out pretty good. They stayed up, and it was a lot of fun. My daughter loved it, and we have the little removable kind of like marshmallow balls as treats. Here is a slice of the bottom layer. As you can see, we've got a rainbow cake. We have a decent amount of icing versus cake, and it ended up being moist and very good. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any other baking ideas or things you want us to try, just leave us a comment.